What is Herb's palsy? Stay tuned.
Welcome to the YouTube channel of Michael J. Swanson. Michael is the author of How David Beats Goliath and is the CEO of Advocate Capital. And now, here's Michael.
You may have heard of Herb's palsy before. To help us understand this condition, I've invited experienced plaintiff lawyer Debi Chalik to join us today. Debi, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I know you've helped a lot of families who've been affected by children with Herb's palsy. Can you tell us what Herb's palsy is?
Sure. Herb's palsy is essentially an injury to the nerves in your C-spine or neck area, which is also known as your brachial plexus. What happens is at birth, those nerves get torn or stretched, causing permanent paralysis in a child's arm or hand. It's most commonly occurring to children at birth, and it can be a very devastating and long-term injury.
And what is the cause of it during the birth? Is it forceps being used or what?
Not exactly. Typically, the cause is the obstetrician or delivering practitioner is pulling on the baby's head and neck to get the baby out. And they're pulling so hard that they're essentially causing what's kind of like a traction injury, where they're pulling on the nerves, causing this devastating damage. And it normally occurs because the baby is too large to pass through the woman's pelvic canal naturally in a vaginal birth. So the cases that we see typically are scenarios where the mother really should have been offered a cesarean section. Either the obstetrician or delivering practitioner should have made that offer prior to her even attempting a vaginal delivery, or if it wasn't evident at that point, during labor, they should have become aware that this was going to be a difficult delivery and they should have offered a cesarean at that point. So unfortunately, these babies are too large, they get stuck, they encounter what's called a shoulder dystocia, where the shoulder essentially is lodged under the mother's pelvic bone, and now the doctor's like yanking the baby to get him or her out, stretching those nerves, causing permanent nerve damage in the arm and hand, and it requires a lot of long-term care.
Yeah. How sad. And do you see a trend in this as affecting certain types of, socioeconomic groups or?
You know what? I totally am realizing that, and it's made me very upset. Over the course of my career, I've noticed that the people who are walking into my office or calling me on the phone telling me about this tragic injury to their child are people who do not have a lot of resources. They're Medicaid patients and unfortunately are not being treated, in my opinion, with the same level of care as a woman who goes into a hospital who's not on Medicaid, who is not in a low-income group. So I'm seeing that these doctors or practitioners are basically kind of letting these moms sort of labor down, if you will. That's a term where they just leave them in the bed to be in labor for hours on end. The baby's not descending. The baby's too big. And instead of going in there and offering a cesarean, they're just making these moms push these babies out, and they're becoming injured as a result. So
very sad.
It's very sad, and that's who I'm trying to help.
Right.
It's moms that are coming in to see me.
Well, thank you for being a champion for the underserved, lower socioeconomic groups like that. It's people like you that give the Seventh Amendment actual legs, and thank you for helping people like that get their day in court and get justice.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do it, really.
Now, if someone had a question about Herb's palsy, could they reach out to you?
Absolutely. I do have a 1-800 number. It's 800-465-8743. I can also be reached on our website through email at chaliklaw.com.
Okay, great. Well, Debi, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Send your questions or comments to Michael at mike@howdavidbeatsgoliath.com.